as I was going through my Nintendo DS collection for what I'm hoping is going to be a really good video on Friday, subscribe so you don't miss it, I noticed that some of the games I've got you don't really see talked about. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of DS games. Can't talk about them all. And all but one of them, which I want to feature in this video, are quite cheap. So I've put together what I consider to be some hidden gems, or if nothing else, some cheap, good games, and I'm going to share them with you. So without further ado, let's begin. Biker Mice from Mars. What an awesome cartoon that was. So at the beginning of each level you can choose between one of the three characters. I'm going to go with, let's go with Modo, because he's got that cool arm with the blaster built in. Yeah, a little bit of the story. It basically seems to take place on Mars and then travel how you get to Earth. So covers the origins of the Biker Mice. I'm just going to skip through the cutscenes for now. I might just have to turn that down a little bit. Now there are two modes of gameplay with this. First is a beat 'em up, which is good fun. Literally send the baddies flying. I'm trying my best to hold the game still as well as play it. Basic moves are punch, kick, you've got a double jump, and you can do sort of a backwards heel kick when you jump. Different sorts of enemies to play with, or get beaten up by, depending on how you look at it. Now you do get a special move when you fill your meter, which I haven't done yet, and to be honest with you, I haven't managed to do very much at all, so not the easiest thing in the world to do. That could just be because I haven't played the game that much recently. Truthfully, whenever I have played it, I've never really bothered with the whole meter thing anyway. I just play with the beat 'em up mechanics. That's it, get out of the air, you. Have a beating. So that's probably, oh, press the wrong button, giving you a good idea of the beat 'em up sections, but they are not the best part of this game. Oh no. There's a better bit. And that is the motorbikes. Let me skip ahead and show you. This is, to me at least, by far and away the best bit when you get to ride the bikes. It's got an element of Mario Kart about it. So if you get these boxes, you get different things to shoot with. So you use your left trigger to fire, if you've got anything, and your right trigger to fire what's in the right box. So if we go here, I've got two homing missiles because they're red. I'm going to fire both of them. I can see myself needing more than one try at this. Now the blue ones, they just straight shoot, so you need to aim those. Sorry, I've just drifted off the course a little bit there. I promise you it's not as difficult and I'm not as bad at this as I'm making it look. It's just while you're trying to play through the camera and everything. Get your power-ups. Sometimes you're racing against other riders. Sometimes you're on your own. There you go, there was another rider. And sometimes it's like it is now, where you're basically facing a boss battle. Now if you look at the top of the screen in the middle, you'll see that everything is on a timer. So you do have to keep your pace up, and also when you get opportunity to increase your time, which is generally by kicking off the henchmen on their own bikes, make sure you do it like that, you see. It's the best way possible to keep your time going. I'll be surprised if I do this one, to be honest with you, because I've messed up a little bit, but we'll keep trying. I've just been hit, so that's going to slow me down. Yeah, I've got a health bar, obviously, but it's more slowing you down that's detrimental to your progress.
good. I've just stocked up with some more of these. Take them out as best we can. Wonder if I just might do it. I had some good time there. I do think this looks very good. I like the fact it's gone from the, oh crud, for a 2D to the 3D like this. Gives you a nice little, oh, did it, there you go. I wish the game was more that than the beat 'em up sections, but good fun.
This next game is Cop the Recruit. I'm going to keep it brief here because I did give it its own video, because I do consider it the best looking 3D game on the Nintendo DS. I'll put a link on the end card if you want to watch that one.
So, a la Grand Theft Auto, we're going to help ourselves to a car. We're going to turn around because I don't want to go the wrong direction. And get ourselves to the crime scene and see what's going on. What I shall do, I shall speed up this section just a little bit for you, because watching me just driving could get a little bit boring very quickly. However, bearing in mind this is a DS game, I don't think this looks too bad. And it doesn't control too badly either. I know I've crashed a few times, but that's just down to my skill level. But yeah, I mean, you know, we've got a small open world. It's a representation of Manhattan. You can see the map in the bottom screen, and I'll give you a close-up look at it once I'm not on a timed mission. So right, time for me to shut up, speed this up, let's get to the point. There we go, so you see there's one up there, so we're going to run ahead. Yeah, so I'm just using the left trigger to shoot. You can change it to the right trigger if you're left-handed. And the cursor to move around. I would like it to be a bit more sensitive, if I'm honest, but... Right, so while we reload, just dash again. I will say you do end up spamming a lot. Especially, as you can see, his head gets in the way. So you gotta laugh. I will say the enemy AI is absolutely horrendous, but just quite good, really, with these controls. Let's collect some bullets. Don't run out of those.
This next game is the only one that's not cheap on this list. It is one that I wanted for a long time, finally bit the bullet and bought, to complete my Buffy the Vampire Slayer games collection. And that might be a future video to do.
One of my better games. This is actually probably the most expensive game I've got for the DS. It cost me about 35 quid. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Sacrifice. Now, the story takes place here, for all you Buffy fans, after the finale of the TV show. I'm not going to spoil the plot for you because it's pretty good, and if you play it, you'll enjoy it. I've got just a little bit through the tutorial. Now, I have played this before. As you can see, I've got a stake selected. It's in 3D. It is a fixed camera, which reminds me a little bit of Resident Evil. You've got your standard kicks, your punches. Obviously, if you've got a weapon equipped, it uses that. I'm just going to give myself some health. Sorry, doing this through the camera just isn't easy. So you do have to use the block on this. You won't be able to get through without it. And there we go. So you can see we used the stake as well. And we killed the vamp. Very atypical of any video game. If you see a crate, smash it. See there, I've got a stake. I've got 3 stakes and something else. We're in the wrecks of Sunnydale School. Obviously that was destroyed at the end of the last season. So let's just give him a good bit of knife. There you go, have a bit of a dagger. Vampy boy. you also get magic in this. The way they proposition it is that Willow transfers through you to give you some magic powers. You unlock spells as you go through. I've only got a lightning at the minute, which I'm going to try and use. There we go. I don't know if that worked properly. Let me shoot it just down the corridor so you can see. You ready? Oh, it worked a little bit. So yeah, shoot lightning balls. Really good looking DS game this. You've got the map at the top, which obviously helps you decide where to go. As I said, we're in Sunnydale School at the moment, but that does change. As we go through, you will find yourself through the game things like graveyards and other sort of iconic locations from the TV show. Relying on that little green arrow is not ideal because it can be a bit confusing, but obviously you've got the map on the top screen. I didn't mean to do that. But this is not the whole part of the game. There is another part to it. Let's skip ahead and I'll show you. And here's the other aspect to the game, which does change it rather a bit. It changes between which areas you're in, and as you can see, it turns into a first-person shooter, albeit with a crossbow. Now, like any other first-person shooter on the DS, I'm trying to hold it still for you, it involves using the left trigger to shoot, and you use the stylus to aim. Now, this is the first section of it. It took me a while to get here, actually. I forgot how long it takes to get here. And the idea is to just shoot the targets. It gives you a bit of practice. Obviously, because I'm holding it in a strange way, quite far away from myself, to show you wonderful people, I'm not doing terribly well, although I'm not doing that badly, actually. And this is a really nice, just different change. It keeps the game going. My favourite part is the third-person beat-em-up elements, where you get the weapons and things, don't get me wrong. But this is just a nice change of pace. And whereas I find the fighting bits not hard as in an unfair way, but they're challenging. You have to use your block properly and things like that. These bits are generally quite easy, if I can hold it, as I normally would. It just changes the pace of the game completely, keeps things moving. And as I've already said about this game, one thing that I want to make sure abundantly clear, the story is absolutely brilliant. Now we have a game which you could mistake for a kids game. It's called Generator Rex, but I promise you, it's actually really good fun. So the premise is that you're a character who can change his body to different parts of machines. I'm showing you what I've unlocked so far here. So you've seen a sword, some like heavy-duty boxing gloves, and I've got a gun here. You also get some bionic legs. It's a beat-em-up with a really nice twist. There's some very light environmental puzzles and things to overcome. So as you can see there, I had to use my sword to slice through the web, and I seem to be fighting what I'm guessing is supposed to be a giant spider. Now, you'll find different weapons more effective as you fight. Each weapon has two standard modes, so you've got a light attack like this slash and a heavy attack with the sword, as you can see, where it's a buzzsaw. Does more damage but slower, and you do get a special move which is with the right trigger. It's a dash with the sword. Really good fun, nice ingenuitive take on the beat 'em up. I do believe that there was also a home console release for this as well, unlike the PS3. I haven't played that, so I can't speak about it, but really good fun. You can upgrade your character as well as you go through, so you collect orange and green nanobots. The green is health, the orange is a bit like skill points, where you can upgrade your health and things. Nice, interesting take. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit now, so you can see me doing a bit more than just battle with one spider crawling up a wall. So we just skipped ahead here, we've got a little cutscene, as I've gone into a new part of the level. As you can see, I've got the bionic legs activated at the minute. We need to hack a computer system just to progress the story. I just wanted to show you this bit so you see a different area. And here, just to show you, there is some good variety with the enemies. I don't think I'm going to get to the boss battle on this level because I'm not doing very well. But I would encourage you to check it out. It's a cheap game, really good fun. Space, the final frontier. let's play Star Trek. Odds are, if you're a Star Trek fan, you've wanted to pilot one of the ships. This isn't the Enterprise, it's, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a different one in the fleet. And this is a different pace of game. It's quite slow paced, it's quite methodical. You've got access to quite a few different mechanics, which I think at least adds to the immersion. You can see here I've just gone into warp mode to go and investigate our mission. I really enjoy this game. It's a good background game, so if you've got something on the telly and you just want something to fiddle with at the same time, or a DS game which is a bit more of a time sponge, then I suggest giving this a go. And of course, if you like Star Trek, why wouldn't you give it a go? As you can see, we're in deep space now, having warped. You change your alert levels, so obviously green, yellow is shields only, red is shields and weapons. There's a lot of text-based communication here, where you talk to different parties. Here I'm talking to somebody in a different planet. You get different options. The long and the short of it here is the Klingons have attacked a freighter. I'm communicating with the freighter to find out who fired first. It was actually the freighter. I'm communicating with the Klingons to try and persuade them not to blow it out of the sky, which, as you can see, isn't going very well. I'm doing that on purpose, of course, because I want to show you a battle. So let me skip ahead here. It's also worth mentioning you can, of course, scan things, enemies, planets, anything you want to gain more information. So here we are in battle mode. The green segments around the ship represent segments of the shield, the same with the enemy ship. As I'm sure you can already guess, yellow means it's been hit a little bit, red hit a lot, and then eventually when it goes away, there's where you want to aim to actually attack the ship directly. And in reverse, of course, if you've got red or no bits with a shield at all, then they're the bits you don't want to be attacked by an enemy. The battles here, again, are quite slow-paced. They're not instant attack and kill in seconds, which takes a bit of getting used to, because if you're used to more quick pick up and put down games on the DS, but it works. You've got access to your phasers, which are your main weapon. You can see them firing here, and you do get photon torpedoes. So I've zoomed out so you can see the bottom panel as well. You've got 3 phaser banks, both sides and the top. The green things, when they light up, they mean they're ready to be fired. The blue one is photon torpedoes. You can only fire that if you're facing towards your target, and that's quite slow to reload. The battles here are, again, quite slow. They're not instant, but it does make it more of a challenge. The idea, of course, get a gap in the enemy's shields and then fire into it to blow them out the sky. You can see I'm just trying to hail them there, but they're ignoring me because they're in full fight mode. It is something you have to get used to. It's not an easy battle system. There's a lot more deeper mechanics, but this is giving you a brief overview. Star Trek fans, pick this up. And finally, we have Operation Vietnam. I really like this because it reminds me of Cannon Fodder. That was one of my favourite games on the Genesis, and still one of my favourite games, actually, of all time. So that's a high compliment coming from me. As you can guess from the name, it takes place during the Vietnam War. It's just me and one other squaddy at the moment. I think you do pick up other team members as you go. As you can see here, you've got your main gun. My guy's got a machine gun. The other chap's got a sniper rifle, and you can change between the two. You can also split the team, so one of you stays in one area whilst you go on with another. I'm on a little attack here. I don't know why the bullets move so slowly. That's something you have to get used to, but it doesn't take away from the fun at all. Takes place in some nice looking locations. It's obviously got the top down view. Not unfamiliar, there are other games like it, but I think this one just does it particularly well. You've also got access to grenades, and as you can see I've just launched here, you can also call in an airstrike. So what I did was lay down a flare and they came in and bombed the area. There was nothing there, I just wanted to show it to you. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit now and see if we can get into another battle so you can see a bit more of the game. Good news, I found somebody to shoot, and there we go. A little bit anticlimactic. It does get quite furious when there's multiple enemies on screen, and unfortunately in this bit there just doesn't seem to be that many. You also meet villagers and people along the way who give you information, they can give you clues, and I don't know if you saw it at the start of this, but it has said along here to help the villagers as you go through and take out the enemies. As I'm showing you here, you've got some different commands you can give to the other squaddy, so as I said, you can leave them, get them to team up with you as well. It's a basic system, but it's literally all you need. The map is quite useful at the bottom because it is, I don't want to say it's open world, but it's got open area feelings to it. Really good fun action shooter game, because you can sometimes think that there's only really things like brain training on the DS, but that's not true. There's such a variety, and hopefully this little list has helped show you that. And I do recommend all these games, and they're all quite cheap.
So there we have it, just some games from my personal collection that I own, that I think are good fun and worth telling you wonderful, wonderful people about. Let me know in the comments if you fancy picking any of them up, or indeed some of your favourite hidden gems for the DS. I'll see you soon.